Hello.
Hello.
How is everyone? We're live.
We're live and stereo.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Not on stereo, just on YouTube for now. And it's Ty.
And Liz.
And we're back again to talk about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 6, the season finale. At least for the first season. There's been no second season announced. But we're just going to give our reactions to the show and how it kind of concluded and kind of what we think's coming next.
Mm-hmm.
So,
our reactions and whatnot. Okay, so do we want to recap the episode?
yeah.
All right, so we start off. Oh, we kind of. It's been a couple hours. Oh my god, I have a very short attention span.
So it starts off. There's the whole thing with the GRC vote.
Gotcha.
The
Yeah,
people
yeah.
are, and then we see the debut of Falcon, aka Captain America's new costume.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it looks comic accurate.
Mm-hmm.
I think it looks really good.
I have nothing to base this off, but yeah, it looked pretty good. It looked good on him. But yeah, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
I have to start calling him
you can
Captain
call
America now. But Sam is going head to head with, is it Carly? No, he's going head to head
Batroc.
with this guy that
He fights him.
that wants to kill Sam, while Bucky and Sharon are dealing with the Flag Smashers and trying to get them to escape.
Yeah, because the Flag Smashers try to get everyone to leave the building to trick them into getting into these transportation cars, but they're just trapping them in and going off and just holding them as hostages.
Yep.
So they're trying to keep them in the building. Bucky gets a call from
Carly. Carly gets a hold of Bucky. They have a conversation. It almost seemed like Carly was trying to keep Bucky occupied while they transport these hostages, the senators. And then, let's see.
Yeah, she tried to. I mean, she was like, "All right, you can either join me, and if you're not, I'm stalling you so I can do my thing regardless."
Yep. So that it's first it seems like, okay, it's Sam versus this I don't know his name. This killer that just wants to kill Sam, and then it's Bucky and Sharon against the Flag Smashers. And then throughout this whole fight scene, I'm kind of thinking like, all right, I know Walker's gonna come in soon. Like where I'm waiting for him to kind of come in and f everything up. But then he comes in and calls out Carly and, tries to go head to head with her. And so there's a fight scene with Carly and Walker. And then, let's see. It's just
Yeah, Walker was, brutal. I mean, he took on, 3 or 4 of the guys and was just, straight out, trying to get Carly.
Yeah, I felt like the first half of the episode was a lot of just, people... It was a lot of fight scenes. It was a lot of these people just trying to... the fight scenes that needed to happen. And then I really liked how Sam was able to use his suit, because then at first I just thought it was a suit, and then it was revealed that he also had his Falcon wings. And I was like, oh man, he could fly. That's awesome. And then he helps people, because there was a helicopter scene.
Yeah, they've taken some hostages in the helicopter.
They've distributed hostage everywhere. Hostages everywhere.
So basically, he did that in a cool way, because he basically found someone on the plane or on the helicopter who knew how to pilot a helicopter.
Yep.
And then he basically flew through the helicopter, took out the guy, dropped him in the lake, at the same time that the person basically took control of the helicopter.
Kind of
so
really spy, almost spy-ish, okay, girl, put on your headphones, and he communicated with this hostage through that, and I thought that was very cool, the way he approached the situation. But then we see the Flag Smashers run from Bucky, Sam, and Sharon, and they go underground. And
wait, They don't go underground.
They were like in the ground, like basement.
No, I'm saying not yet, because like we see the scene like where after Sam saves the people on the helicopter, Bucky kind of gets knocked down to like basically that area is under construction, right? Is that what you're talking about, or are you talking about the later stuff where they're like in the tunnels?
Stuff, in the tunnels.
Yeah.
Everything else is a blur to me.
Yeah, so they're at the construction area. Bucky gets knocked down to the ground level, and then John and Carly are at the top. They were kind of having their fight, and then John was fighting the other super soldiers, and Carly decides, I'm gonna just drive this like truck full of hostages, and we're gonna drive it right off. So she drives it to the construction zone, jumps out, and sends the car going through there. Like, it's about to fall, and then John...
Like almost on a cliff type of thing.
Mm-hmm. And then John has to choose between chasing Carly or saving people.
Saving the senators.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then he chooses saving the senators. He tries to pull him back, and then does he slip or something? Or no, he gets attacked by the flag smashers trying to stop him. And then we see like, oh my god, the car is about the whole the truck is about to fall, and what?
Well, the thing is he gets attacked by them, but he falls with the two flag smashers down directly beneath where the car is gonna fall and land. And then as you were saying, the car's about to fall. You can go on. I'm not trying to interrupt you. I'm just trying to like show the gravity of the situation. Like, this car falls. It's not just the hostages. It's like
Bucky and Walker are
Bucky,
done.
Walker, and the couple flag smashers.
Mm-hmm. And then we see Sam. Is it pulling? He's pulling it up. He like flies in, swoops in, he's like pushing it up, and then he kind of he's able to like put it back on. Everyone's safe, etc. Yep, and everyone's like he has this crowd around him, and everyone's like, oh, look at that's Falcon, right? That's Falcon, that's Black Falcon right there. And then someone says, no, that's Captain America, and I was just like,
that was a good feel-good moment.
He's doing it. And then is that when they go in the tunnels?
Yeah, then they go in the tunnels because Carly's like, oh shit, we gotta go. And Sharon's at this point, because Batroc like threw like the gas or whatever, just the smoke. And then
them.
Sharon goes in, follows Carly.
Yeah, so Sharon finds Carly first in the tunnels. And then they start talking. They start this dialogue between each other as if they know who each other is already. And so we're like, oh, so these people have a history now. They're not just strangers. And that's when Carly reveals that Sharon is the power broker. And they have this standoffish type of thing. And then Batroc comes in. We find out that Sharon hired Batroc to spy on Carly. And everyone is just kind of like at a standstill, like with guns drawn out.
Batroc is like basically trying to blackmail
Sharon.
Sharon's like, yo, you got to pay me 4 times what you said before, or I'm gonna tell everyone who you are. So then they have this little like standoff, and then Sharon just kills Batroc, and then Carly takes the opportunity to shoot
Sharon.
Yeah. And
then Sam appears in the scene, and it looks like Carly shot Sharon because Sharon is associated with Sam and Bucky. That's what Sam coming onto this situation. That's what it looked like to him. So they still don't know who Sharon is. So, and Carly makes a run for it. Sam, they have a fight sequence. I don't want to call it a fight sequence because Sam is like not fighting back. He's defending himself, but he refuses to fight Carly. And Carly is, trying to just fighting him and I thought of it very immature. She was fighting it very like passionately, but she was also fighting it very almost like
she was mad that he wasn't fighting back.
Where she was like screaming at him to fight back. and she didn't, and then she
She
got the upper hand and was about to shoot Sam, and then Sharon comes in and shoots Carly instead. Sam, like...
they basically have this, like, silent, like, exchange where it's, like, Sam, although, like, in a moment he might have been shot himself, he's, like, still, he's not... He's both happy and mad at Sharon, I feel like. I mean, we don't really see more to that exchange, but he's, like, he's sad Carly died,
yeah.
But he's also, like, she was at a point where she was about to shoot him, and, like, he can't fault her for that, but he just
and then Sam brings Carly's body out to the paramedics outside where everyone's watching.
So maybe she's not dead.
There's a
chance. There's a
maybe,
chance.
I guess, with
the
super soldier serum in her, that who knows, but there was a moment that they showed a scene where she went, like, limp. Like we're supposed to say
she passed out
she
at
passed,
least.
or she passed out at least. I think she's dead, but that's for a later topic.
Yeah.
Sam brings her out, and then
at the same relative time, or kind of going on, Walker and Bucky basically, they capture the other 3 remaining, like, super soldiers, literally just by, like, they don't even fight them. They're just like, hey, we know where you are. We use the app, like, just called in a bunch of enforcement to just kind of surround them. It was like, you're outnumbered. Like, you can come
clever
in.
Move. It was a clever move. Mm-hmm. And then Sam gives this speech to the senators, which is a very moving speech. And it was it's being broadcasted by all the news. And so we see Isaiah Bradley watching this, and he's just kind of like, he's tearing up, but he's also kind of giving him, like, the nods of, like, approval, like, yo, this guy's doing it. Sarah's watching on the news, and it's just kind of broadcasting that Captain America now is his mantle is being taken up by Sam, but he's, like, he's just giving out his word, and it's just a very, I'm not going to try to recap the whole speech, but it's very moving, and it's very, like, it hits hard. It hits hard. And then after that, let me see, the ending. Oh my god.
Well, yeah. So let's see. So after that speech, so, like, I guess there's a lot of kind of things that happen. So there's another exchange between, Sam, Bucky, I think John almost. John gives his nod where it's almost like he didn't have a Captain America mantle, but he kind of, like, he basically shows a sign of respect after that speech to Sam. It's like, you clearly deserve what you have here. I'm not getting in the way, which is something big. I don't know,
big for Walker's character.
Yeah, I think Walker's character had, like, and this is probably a little aside from the recap, but I think he had some redemptive moments in the episode. I don't think it fully redeems his character, but I think he started making more of the right choices.
Correct.
I think, like, he chose to save the people versus go to Carly. He's choosing to respect that, he's not Captain America anymore. It is someone else, and he's starting to move from it. Yeah. But anyway, after that...
Yeah, let's just quickly recap.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, right after that scene, Sam gets called, like, oh, there's one more super soldier that's, like, in the bay. Like, he's injured, but, can you go help him? And this is from the helicopter scene earlier. So, like, he's like, sure. So he goes and leaves to do that. And then at the same time, they're having the prison transport for the 3 super soldiers that...
3 or 4 super soldiers.
That
they're supposed to be going to the raft where Zemo is supposed to be... where Zemo is being held. And then, as a guard closes the door to the truck, he says... one world, one people, and then they I'm a little unsure, but there's an explosion that happens, and from a distance, it pans out to this
older guy
with like a walkie-talkie or whatever, and you know, you cut to the news saying, you know, an explosion happened, killing the 4 flag smashers that were supposed to go into the raft, and then you cut to Zemo in his prison cell, hearing the news and then lying back.
So I'm pretty sure it was Zemo's butler who killed them there.
Okay.
But I mean, there's a couple things to note. So I think one, it's, you know, Zemo obviously still has influence, even though he is in prison, and he was responsible for their deaths. But 2, just the prison guard saying, like, you know, confessing his loyalty to these flag smashers kind of, I think, keys us in to, like, they're not gone.
The
flag
smashers aren't done.
Let's be clear, you know, like, this movement that they've made has had an impact, and there are going to be loyalists going forward. We might see them again. It's probably going to be in a different capacity. We might not see super soldiers, but, you know, there's something that's going to live on beyond them,
the flag
most
smashers,
likely.
The flag smashers still exist, even though they're not entirely made up of super soldiers, just because of this mission that Carly had begun and created. And she's even said in the episode where the movement will carry on without us. It's strong enough to move in, and I think that's what's being proved there. So that explosion happens. Then Carly gets her pardon from the U.S.
Sharon.
Yeah, Sharon. Ooh.
No, that's the post-credit scene.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, then what happens else? Is that Walker?
So what happens after is we have a scene with Sam and Isaiah Bradley.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God.
So we see them,
yeah.
And basically, you know, Sam comes to him, and he's just, you know, they kind of have that exchange where, you know, Isaiah is like, you kind of proved me wrong, you know, like you're doing it and you're doing it well. And then, you know, and Sam's like, oh, I have something to show you. So he brings Isaiah and his grandson, Elijah, to, you know, the Captain America Museum. And he shows them that he made, like, a whole new exhibit for
Isaiah.
Yeah, to show the sacrifices that he made for his country and to know that they will never be forgotten. So I think that was a huge moment as well.
That was a huge moment. We
also see, like, Bucky go and visit, I can't remember his name, but basically the father or grandfather of the guy he had killed.
Of the son,
in the first episode, and we see him, you know, come to him and, you know, not necessarily apologize, but just give, you know, this guy closure to say, like, you know, the Winter Soldier killed your kid, and, you know, like, I am the Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
and,
I didn't have
like,
a choice.
And just kind of give him that.
We don't see a reaction of this guy as much. We just see Bucky leaving the apartment, and then we later see him with the bartender girl from earlier in the season. And they're there. He doesn't enter or anything, but he just is like, okay, he has people around him, kind of like,
he wants to make sure that he's okay.
Yeah, and then leaves, like, and then Bucky, we see, you know, scenes of Bucky visiting the Wilson clan.
Yeah, they're all having
everyone's
good
having
time.
Like a good time. Kids are playing with Bucky's arm. They're like, children are hanging from his arm, and that was adorable.
No, it was hilarious because at the same time he's like talking with Sarah. So he's got his arm here. He's like, oh, I'm so strong and I can take care of the kids. And he's like, it's almost like he's flirting with Sarah. We don't hear any dialogue, but it's like it's a good callback to the last episode. So
it's cute.
We like that.
And we just see Sam and Bucky kind of, they've grown so much, and they're just kind of like now like embracing each other now by the end, which is it's so nice to see.
Yeah, I mean they're almost a family, you know.
Yep, definitely. I would classify
brothers in arms.
Brothers in arms, literally in arms.
Yeah.
And then is that when we cut to Walker?
Yeah, I think, it's somewhere in that time, we cut
Mm-hmm.
to Walker, and he's, talking with this Valentina lady again.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, he gets a slightly new suit, with basically the same suit he had, but it's, like, tinted black, and, he's going by a new name, U.S.
U.S.
Agent.
agent.
Which
Okay.
we all kind of predicted and we saw coming, just based off of, like, how his character in the comics and whatnot. And I think we all kind of thought that, we'd see more of him in the future as well. We just don't know in what context. We still are trying to figure out more about this Valentina person.
Correct. That's still up in the air.
Yeah.
And then post-edit scene.
Post-credit scene.
We see Sharon getting her pardon, and them saying that the Carter name has always helped them out, and it's always like they trust the Carter name. So they basically apologize to her, and we're gonna start repaying you to what is owed to you.
Mm-hmm.
And they offered her a position back in the old department that she was working at,
Mm-hmm.
and they offered it to her, and she was like, it would be my honor to go back, right?
Mm-hmm.
She walks out, and she's on the phone saying, we might not have super soldier serum or, the Flag Smashers basically, but we're about to have access to
Government
secrets, nuclear codes, weapons, and stuff like that. So there's going to be something for everybody. And then cutscene.
Yeah.
So I just want to say, I called it. I called it. We could not trust her.
I didn't.
I wanted to be wrong so bad.
Same.
But I knew it as soon as I knew it. Sharon was up to something and it's no good. And
this is a new direction for that character. So I'm really interested to see what's next.
I'm so sad.
I think Marvel's done a good job with this series where they've gotten us all very invested in a lot of characters.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Marvel community, there are some fans that were, I'll consider them very toxic, giving death threats to Wyatt Russell, who plays John Walker.
Mm-hmm.
But like the internet's had such an emotional reaction to his character, be it good or bad. I mean, like Loki and there's characters you love to hate, and he's definitely one of them.
Yeah.
He definitely like brings some spice to the show, but they did a decent character arc for him, and they left him they left a lot of books open, I guess is the best way to put it.
Walker.
Yeah, they left Walker open. We see a U.S. agent thing going on.
Sharon, but okay.
We also see Sharon. I think Sharon's the biggest one. I think she's going to be a big player going forward.
Yes.
I just don't know how things are going to go down. Because she has a secret of that she's the power broker, but no one knows.
The power broker. I'm so nervous because the senators was like the Carter name, the Carter family or whatever has always been good, whatever. And it's like, is Sharon gonna be one of those characters who's like, okay, she's gonna use this legacy that Peggy Carter has created and kind of using it to her advantage, like, well, no one's gonna suspect me, like, because no one really I guess people suspected her to be the power broker, but no one was like, yeah, she's probably not though. But then turned out that she is, and she's a very powerful person who's now pardoned back into the United States, given all this access, and I'm nervous to what she's gonna do to that Carter legacy. I was a big fan of Peggy Carter and the first Captain America. And so I'm like, oh no, like, here she comes, but, like, I don't know.
The thing is like, I don't want to make this comparison too much, but like between Carly and Sharon, Carly was definitely someone who was like redeemable. I think Sharon's past that point, though.
You don't think she's gonna be redeemable?
I think with she spent 5 years building up this whole thing, and now she's like, she's kind of stamping on and stomping over all of the ideals and stuff she held before. I don't think that she's going to be able to be diffused easily. And I don't really know what direction they're going to go. Because, like, up to this point, Bucky and Sam have been good friends with, with Sharon, and Cap had a good relationship with Sharon prior
Good
to
relationship.
yeah. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Like, but I think we're gonna see it kind of go in a different direction. But I'm not really sure what comes next. I'm not sure if we're gonna see all of these ties come up in a season 2. Are we gonna see a movie? I was scrolling on the internet and I heard that there's like a Captain America 4 movie potentially in development. Nothing's official, and everything on the internet's rumors until it's made official. So could we see it in a movie? Could we see it in a show? I think they did a really good job in the show, and I really like that format. Honestly, I would prefer to have another show, just because
same 100% for me.
It's really the way I kind of see a show is versus a movie is movie, you just eat everything all at once, whereas as a TV show, you're, especially with the way they release it, you're savoring each and every bite and all the little details that they kind of put in to each of these productions. You really get to take it all in. Whereas a movie, you're there for 2.5, 3 hours. It can be very overwhelming, and you kind of miss things here or there. We're talking about recapping a 50-minute episode with 10 minutes of credits.
Yeah.
We're like, oh wait, I missed for this detail, or I missed that detail. These 3-hour movies, we're missing everything. Let's be honest. There's so much there.
I can see where Sharon's character wouldn't be redeemable. We also we don't know exactly what she's done in the past 5 years, but Carly did say that the Flag Smashers worked for Sharon. That they worked for the power broker, and the super soldiers were acting as muscle to enforce whatever Sharon wanted to do. So it was kind of like, okay, I can kind of see where she's maybe past past redemption. So do you think that Carly is actually dead?
So, and maybe I need to rewatch this.
Okay.
But I think one of the key things is, and I'm not sure where this is going to go, but I know that we saw 3 of the Flag Smashers get blown up in the car explosion. I'm not sure if that 4th one from the bay that Sam rescued was part of that group.
Okay.
I almost wonder if we're going to see a repeat situation where we see one of the super soldiers is still around, and we're basically going to see them, hidden away, kind of tortured like Isaiah Bradley. Basically, kind of dealt with as oh, he's a terrorist, we're going to try and forget about it, but we're going to, see if we can replicate the serum again.
Yeah.
That would be kind of an annoying plot line, but I feel like we might see a return of maybe one of them. I think if Carly's alive, that kind of changed the situation, because I'm not sure what role she would play. I don't know if she'd try to, I think, I think she would try and rekindle the Flag Smashers, be a new leader. At the very least, she's a martyr if she dies. If she's alive, it gives the Flag Smashers more motivation to rescue her and re-put her up on the pedestal.
I can see that, but I can also see her being actually dead. And Carly was almost the extreme of her movement. You can tell by the other Flag Smashers, they weren't very comfortable with killing people. They didn't want to go that far, but they did it because Carly was there pushing it and stuff like that. I think with Carly being gone, they can... This movement is obviously strong enough to move forward without her. So I think that it will. I think she's actually dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think she's coming back.
Yeah. I mean...
That's my prediction.
And I guess another, thing to kind of be said, if she is alive, she's got a target on her head. I mean, now... Even more Carly knows who the power broker is. I mean... Sharon already proved it.
But she's been knowing. Carly's been knowing that Sharon is power broker.
I don't know if she knew Sharon was the power broker. I think she knew who the power broker was and basically worked with a blank face. Maybe I need to rewatch the scene, but I could be completely wrong.
I think Carly knew that Sharon was the
power broker.
Yeah, because Sharon said, I took you in, I gave you a place to stay, I gave you a purpose, and even when they first like saw each other, they were like, I'm disappointed in you. I'm disappointed in you. I think Carly knew.
Mm-hmm.
Did the other Flag Smashers know? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure Carly knew that Sharon was the power broker.
Okay.
And
that changes the situation then, because then it there's less of a reason to kill, but there still kind of is. You know, like she's tying up loose ends, but
okay. I do want to talk about Walker throughout the episode. I know at the end credit scene of last episode, you know, he's making his shield. I call it like his DIY shield.
Yeah. Got beat up a little bit this episode.
Got beat up,
not broken, but beat up.
You can see him putting his his medals of honor on the back of the shield, and I thought they were going to go on the front, because whatever scene that we saw, he wasn't done painting it. And then in this episode, we see that shield come out, and when he's using it and the inside of the shield is facing him, he sees the medal of honor in his face. So I'm like, okay, so he did this on purpose. This was in like a purpose, like he placed those there for a purpose to kind of like, I guess, remind him of like of whatever. And it was almost like a trigger for him.
Yeah, I don't know if that was his Medal of Honor, or if that was something.
It was Lamar's?
I don't know. I think if it was Lamar's, like looking at that, it's just like it's a reminder that he has something he has to stand for, and he's standing by his friend. You know.
Okay. Yeah. As much as I don't like Walker, that was a pretty cool. I like that scene. I like how they played that. You're right. Walker had moments of redemption.
Yeah.
He
was helping, like
by the end he was helping. It turned out to be better than what I thought, because I thought it was going to be Walker versus Sam and Bucky for the shield. You know, just for the whole Captain America mantle in general, but he really just wanted Carly, and he wanted to kill her. So, and him choosing to rescue the senators versus going after Carly, which was an easier thing to do, was like, okay, there's still some sort of redeemable quality about him. But now he's taking up this U.S. agent role, you know, with new suit. And does he get he doesn't get a shield, or maybe was it just a new suit? Or does he get
we don't see a shield at all,
okay,
but we just see a suit. You know, I assume that there's going to be a shield coming along with it. We just don't know what capacity that's going to be. So it's up in the air of, is U.S. agent going to be an ally, or is it going to be, I know it's a U.S. agent, but would it be like a rogue agent being controlled by this Valentina person? Yeah.
We don't know who it is.
Yeah. We don't know who she serves.
We don't know what purpose she serves, or what her agenda is. So I'm just kind of nervous.
Yeah. I think a lot of the future direction of the show kind of rests on the fact that we don't know what some characters' motivations are. I think we've seen Karen, I keep calling her Karen, because I think you started doing it. So it's like Karen. Sharon Carter, and then I just mix the two of them and I call her Karen. Sharon Karen. But I do think that, like, even though we've seen her in like 4 episodes, I don't think we know what her motivations are. Because she's been the power broker. Sharon. But, like, why? Like, what's her end goal? What's she trying to do? Is she just wanting power? Is she just what's her agenda? Like, what are her motivations? Why is she doing what she's doing? And that's kind of why I was like, I don't know if she's redeemable, because I don't understand her motivations. I think that, but I do see what she's done, and I think she's gone a little too far for whatever it is. So that's where I'm like, is she a bad person, or is she misguided, or is she, well, I don't know.
With that reasoning, I guess you could also put that, I'm just playing devil's advocate, like, well, why is Carly so redeemable? She's definitely crossed the line multiple times. She's definitely pushed it too far with questionable motives, with questionable tactics and whatnot. So it's kind of like, you know.
I think Carly was redeemable, like, for a couple reasons. She had very clear motives. She made that like clear straight off the bat, and it wasn't to like control anyone. She wanted a better future for a lot of people, but she also was like very young too. I mean, she was practically a teenager. I mean, they literally call her a teenager on the show. I mean, like, so she's very young. She obviously, grew up at a very weird time, and with everything going on, it was very easy to kind of be misguided, and especially when you get such power at a young age, where that can kind of really impact a person's psyche a lot. So, just in general, like with her, I think she had a lot of good in her. She wanted to do good. Yeah. At the end of the day, but the way she chose to do it and the way she felt she had to do it wasn't good.
That's fair.
With Sharon, I don't know what she's doing, and right now it kind of feels like a lot of what she's doing is, I mean, she's really kind of playing a secret agent. Like, she's trying to play all sides of it, and I just get a nefarious feeling where I don't think that she's doing it for the good of anyone. I think she's doing it more selfishly, but I also don't know. I don't know what her motivations are.
Yeah, like we don't know what happened to Sharon in those 5 years, and in her eyes, she was just kind of fucked over. Mm-hmm. She tried being the good person. She tried being the nice guy. She tried being helpful to the Avengers, and ended up her fleeing the country. Mm-hmm. It's like she may be doing these for selfish reasons, but then I guess to play devil's advocate again, well, then what was Wanda doing during WandaVision? It was for, she was keeping all these people hostage in her reality, mm-hmm. and they didn't want to. So Wanda's, her reasonings behind what she did were very selfish, mm-hmm. as well. And so I guess that begs, like, is Wanda redeemable? And, now that she's taken up the Scarlet Witch mantle. But, that's another thing.
I think we're kind of in the age of Marvel right now, where they're kind of almost
Are they redeemable?
No, not so much, but I think that, especially between, like, WandaVision and this show, I feel like we keep coming back to this question of, like, what makes a hero? Because, like, Wanda, we've seen her as a hero, but, like, we see her doing all these things that aren't heroic. I mean, she's dealing with her grief, but the way she's dealing with it isn't healthy, mm-hmm. and it's impacting a lot of people in a negative way. But I think we still try to call her a hero by the end of it, and then we see, like John Walker, and everyone hates him at day one. But, like, do you, at the end of the show, like, would you consider him a hero? And I mean, like, we see Sam and Bucky. I mean, like, Bucky's kind of the same deal, where it's like,
I was just gonna say, yeah,
he as a different alias, he had no control over it, but, like, he murdered a lot of people, a lot of people.
I think we're coming across the whole who are these characters, like, what they want to be. Like, we see Bucky is trying to leave the Winter Soldier behind, and he's trying to be Bucky Barnes. Sharon Carter is, maybe she's trying to steer from, she's not being Sharon Carter, she's being the power broker. We see Wanda being not, Wanda Maximoff, she's being Scarlet Witch. It's kind of like going between those two identities, and which are they're opposites. So it's kind of like, okay, I can see that where these characters might have questionable motives, either before or now. They're, mm-hmm. kind of like, we're figuring out where they are right now, mm-hmm. in this phase 4.
Yeah,
which is interesting.
Yeah, I think we're at a very interesting point where, mm-hmm. it's, I think, and I don't want to say that they've given us any answers. I think they've kind of just provoked thought into, like, what really defines, like, a hero, and yeah. I think at the end of the day, it's like, there's not one true definition. There's a whole lot of gray, and, you kind of just choose at the end of the day who we want to back. And, that could be wrong, but,
mm-hmm. So, I really liked the season.
Mm-hmm.
I really I enjoyed it more than I thought that I would.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Did you say that there was going to be a season 2?
I didn't say that there was going to be a season 2. I think there's definitely something coming afterwards. They haven't officially announced it.
Mm-hmm.
One small detail I do want to point out that I actually very much appreciated is at the beginning of the show they're like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and they changed it at the end to Captain America and the Winter Soldier, which I thought was great.
Mm-hmm.
And that's 100%. Where I'm kind of like, I don't know if we're going to see a second season of the show, or if we're going to see the show, return for the second season with the same title, or, a different title, or if we're just going to see a movie. All of them are on the table.
Mm-hmm.
We just kind of don't know what direction they'll go. And as much as I kind of pains me to say it, I think COVID might have an impact on that as well.
Yeah.
Because, if we kind of see, content continuing to go forward in the same way that it's been the last year, I think that we're more likely to see a second season of the show than we are to see a big budget movie release.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I'm just really excited and anxious to see all these shows and how they're gonna weave together. You know, finding whatever show in the future is actually, so that makes sense back in WandaVision. Actually, that makes sense back in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Because right now I'm just kind of with all these characters, and I just want everything. I want everything to just kind of come together. Mm-hmm. I'm so ready for that, but we're still in the very baby steps of this phase 4, because this is the second show.
But we're gonna see Loki again in about a month and a half, and then we'll see Black Widow shortly after, Shang-Chi, Eternals, What If. We're basically gonna go from nothing to almost over half of Phase 4 just within the year.
I'm
so
definitely gonna have to keep notes.
that is true. There's gonna be a lot of stuff, but I think it's going to be an exciting ride. I do think, with everything that's kind of going on, we'll see a lot of different things. And I think Marvel's always been someone who's coined themselves on the interconnectedness of things. So I'm not sure where the Falcon and the Winter Soldier will kind of lie in the interconnectedness of, everything else. I do definitely feel that WandaVision's ending is going to connect to Doctor Strange, and they've already talked about how it's going to connect to Spider-Man 3 as well. So I think Spider-Man 3 will touch on it just because Doctor Strange is involved, and then we'll kind of see it tie up in the Doctor Strange movie. So I think we have a direction with at least that. But Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I have no idea. And who knows? It could come up in the next series. It could not. But I think we'll have to wait a little bit. Let all of the slate come out. Because I think everything's a little bit independent right now.
Yeah.
And then we'll see more interconnectedness in the next phase where we see more people interact. I think we'll see we have the Shang-Chi movie, we have Eternals. I think after those movies we'll kind of see how they fit into the Marvel universe, and then we'll start seeing them connect with other major players that we've seen before. I don't think that they're just going to stay in their own bubble. I think there's no way that's going to happen.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I really thought there was going to be, I think you said this earlier, a connection to Black Panther, or some a hint to Black Panther, because we saw the Milaje,
the Dora Milaje.
Dora Milaje, because the Dora Milaje
have jurisdiction wherever
the Dora Milaje finds themselves.
To be.
Yes, cause we saw these characters, and it's okay, anything else? And they took Zemo, and then they left, and I'm wait, come back, please, come back, please, give me more of that. Yeah. But overall, good show. Good show. I want to rewatch that scene, little montage of Bucky and Sam being a family, and back on the boat and stuff like that. Yeah. I want to see that again. It just makes me feel good inside. I'm gonna miss all the winter, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier related TikToks that keep showing up on my
They'll-
feed.
Yeah, they'll still keep showing up.
I know they'll
I'm
keep
sure,
showing up, but I know
they'll
right
fade
now,
out. Yeah.
Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie right now are like the top
Yeah.
creations right now.
Yeah, we'll see a lot more with Loki.
Oh, Loki.
Tom Hiddleston and
yes,
all them.
for sure.
So, yeah, I look forward to it. Is there anything else we want to talk about with this show? I think we kind of like wrapped it up.
I think so. Oh, I guess I wanted to mention, like, I really liked, I know I said I wasn't going to try to recap, Anthony Mackie's, oh my god, Captain America's speech to the senators and, like, the world, basically, of his, like, not his agenda, but just how he felt about things, and how kicking out these refugees and relocating them, and, you know, these powerful people have the power to do, you know, if they have the power to relocate people, then why are we, like, why don't you use this power for good, basically? Like, you can fix so many problems if you really wanted to. You have all this power, and it's just really how you use it. And it's just very, I think it relates a lot to what we're going through, you know, in real time here, where we got to keep our elected officials accountable. And it's just like, just because you're in this position of power doesn't mean, you know, you get to do whatever you want with it. Like, you have to listen to what the people want. And it was a very strong, it felt very strong in my soul. And maybe they didn't mean to be so, like, obvious, but there was a scene where Carly and Walker go head to head, and Walker is like, oh no, so not Walker, Carly is like, I'm sorry, I don't know, did she apologize? Like, I'm sorry I killed Lamar, or I killed your friend, I didn't mean to. And he said, you know, it's like, you didn't mean to, whatever. They have, like, this spat, and Carly is like, you know, he didn't matter, like, he didn't matter to me. And Walker's like, his life didn't matter to you, so it's kind of like a call to, like, you know, the Black Lives Matter movement. I felt like that was, and kind of Walker defending his partner that died. So
I don't know if it was a call of that, but I do definitely think that it was something. It was. Yeah, no, but I definitely think that it fit with, like, Carly's arc too, because it was just, Carly was so blinded by what she was doing that she didn't realize that she was hurting so many people. I mean, she was like, I don't want to kill anyone that's not part of, like, you know, that doesn't directly impact my cause. Like, yep. I want to kill people, but I only want to kill I'm only killing it as a means to get what I want. And she just saw, as like, all right, well, I didn't mean to kill him because, you know, like, you're not standing in my way.
No, I'm not
but
saying
it was
that.
just, no, but I totally agree. Like, you know, that could definitely be interpreted that way.
I know, I think I interpreted it that way, and it was a lot of, like, it was good. It was good without getting into it too much. But yeah, I know I wanted to touch up on that because that is important. We've got to keep our people accountable, and Black Lives Matter. And I just anything else that you want to talk about?
No, I think we did a good job of recapping the episode. I think we have a good idea of, like, kind of what direction the MCU is kind of gonna go.
Yeah.
So,
I guess, like, again, like, you're going into this with, like, a little background knowledge on, like, the comics and, you know, what's gonna happen. I'm coming into these shows more of, like, I know these characters from Phase 3, and I'm excited where they're gonna go next. So so if anyone else is watching where they're like, don't really have a lot of knowledge on the comics, we're in this together. So tune in so you can help me break it down.
Yeah. So we'll definitely be back when the Loki series, you know, starts. I think it starts early June. So we'll definitely be doing this podcast again when that starts. But until then, we might go and have a couple shows between now and then. We haven't decided what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Or when we'll do them or whatever. But, I think we're going to try sticking to our Friday night thing.
Yes.
So if we are going to do anything, we'll be here. We'll let you know.
Yeah.
We'll do our posts, all that fun stuff. So
hit that little reminder icon so you can so just in case we get pushed back or something.
Yeah. And if you have any suggestions for anything that you'd like to see us do or watch or anything,
comment on this video. So we'll see what you want to see.
Yeah.
Because I know we do a lot of the Marvel stuff that's hot right now, and and I may not have a lot of background knowledge on the Marvel universe, but I'm willing to indulge. I have a lot of background knowledge on other shows. As in I've rewatched them like 10 times.
Like
so
Friends, Grey's Anatomy, New
Girl. Actually, so I'm brainstorming right now what we want to do, because I want to come back next week and maybe not the Marvel stuff, but maybe it's something a little bit, maybe a show that's more in my genre, in my repertoire.
Okay.
So we'll see, but definitely let us know for suggestions. Actually, real quick, before we go, I'm going to see.
No, your cat's not in the
window.
window.
I thought she was in the window.
She's back there.
Oh, sorry, guys. Never mind. I lead you guys on. I thought I was going to show you the cat in the window. There's no cat in the window. I'm sorry.
The cat's under the chair.
The cat's under the chair. But, yeah.
But anyway, thank you all for staying tuned. Subscribe if you want to be notified when we go live, and if you want to see more. If you enjoyed the video, it'd really help us out if you left a like rating. A like rating.
A like rating.
Smash the like button, the thumbs up,
Yeah, and if you be nice, please. Like, I know my hair's frizzy, but if you're like, hey, I appreciate it. Yeah. If you have any hair recommendations, no, this isn't the video. This isn't the video for that.
Cut.
We're gonna cut this. But yeah, well, I hopefully will be back next week. Yeah. So tune in, mark it in your calendars. Love our fans. Look at us. Okay.
All right. Well, bye, everyone. We'll stop being weird. Bye.
Bye, Mom.